They don't call. They don't check in. They don't ask how you're doing. And yet, somehow, deep down, you know you're not abandoned. You're just being separated. Chosen one. What you're feeling is real. The isolation, the silence, the sense that no one truly understands you anymore. It's not because you did something wrong. It's because you're about to be elevated. When God gets ready to take someone higher, the first thing he does is separate them. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You're not being punished. You are being set apart. In a world full of noise, distractions, opinions, and spiritual pollution, God needs to clear the space around you. He needs to remove what can't go with you. And let's be honest, some of those people you miss so much, they were holding you back, not because they were evil, but because their presence diluted your power. They saw the version of you that fit their comfort zone. But God sees the version of you that's ready to break every limitation. You prayed for elevation, but you didn't realize that elevation requires separation. You didn't realize that before the crown comes the crushing. Before the spotlight comes solitude. That's why you feel so alone. Because you're in the in-between. You're no longer who you used to be, but you haven't yet stepped into the full manifestation of who you're becoming. And that space, that middle ground, it feels empty. But God is filling it with clarity, filling it with wisdom, filling it with divine downloads that you would have missed if you were surrounded by the wrong voices. You see, when you're constantly around people, you start to confuse their opinions with God's instructions. So what does God do? He silences the room. He shuts the door. He lets them walk away. He doesn't let them text back. He allows the disconnection to protect your direction. Because where He's taking you, not everyone can come. Some of the people you're mourning right now would have ruined what God is preparing. They would have talked you out of your breakthrough. They would have planted seeds of doubt. They would have clapped in public, but competed in private. So instead of exposing them later, God removed them now. You don't see it yet, but this separation is love. It's protection disguised as loneliness. It's grace wrapped in silence. It's preparation for something that would have overwhelmed the old version of you. When God elevates a chosen one, He has to strip them first. Strip them of dependence. Strip them of external validation. Strip them of approval addiction. Strip them of people who were secretly feeding their insecurities. Because where you're going, you need discernment, not distractions. You need alignment, not attention. You need anointing, not attachments. And that's exactly what God is building in you, in the quiet, in the late nights when no one texts back, in the moments where you question if you even matter, in the spaces where your prayers feel unanswered. But listen to me carefully. God is not ignoring you. He is isolating you for intimacy. He's pulling you away from the crowd so you can hear Him clearly. He's cutting off the noise so you can tune into your next instruction. He's removing the temporary so He can release the eternal. And yes, it hurts. Yes, it feels like abandonment. But spiritually, it's a sign you're being trusted. Only those who are being prepared for greatness walk through this level of loneliness. Only those chosen for impact feel this level of inner shift. Only those marked for kingdom purpose endure this kind of divine detachment. So if you feel like you're losing everything, congratulations. You're in the perfect position for God to reveal everything. Because here's the secret. What God is building in the dark will make sense in the light. You're not being punished. You're being planted. And though it may feel like burial, this is your becoming. The roots are growing. The soil is rich. The rain you feel is not to drown you. It's to prepare you for the bloom. You were never abandoned. You were just hidden for a season. God doesn't elevate those who want attention. He elevates those who are willing to surrender in silence. And you, chosen one, you've stayed faithful. Even when no one saw you. Even when no one clapped for you. Even when you wondered, God, did you forget me? He didn't. He was watching. He saw how you didn't retaliate when they left. He saw how you kept your integrity when it would have been easier to break. He saw how you poured into others, even when you were empty. And now, He's about to do what only He can do. Elevation doesn't start in front of people. It starts in the shadows. It starts when God strips away the noise, when He removes the ones who only love the easy version of you, when He isolates you so He can reintroduce you to you. Chosen one, you needed this. You didn't need another opinion. You didn't need another temporary connection. You needed to remember who you are when there's no applause, no audience, no one watching, just you and God. Because in that silence, something holy happens. You stop seeking the world, and you start seeking the Word. You stop checking your phone, and you start checking your spirit. You stop begging for company, and you start becoming whole in your solitude. God didn't take people away to punish you. He did it so He could reveal Himself as enough. So you'd know that even when friends leave, He stays. Even when support dries up, His presence flows. Even when doors close, heaven opens. This is the part where your foundation is being rebuilt. Not on popularity, not on social media followers, not on how many people approve of you, but on purpose, on calling, on divine assignment. And you can't get there if you're surrounded by noise that keeps you tied to your past. The version of you God is calling forth cannot be codependent. It cannot be addicted to validation. It cannot be desperate for company that only delays your destiny. So, yes, He separated you because He saw what was next. And if He hadn't separated you, you would have sabotaged it. You would have taken the wrong people into your blessing. You would have shared sacred things with unsafe hearts. You would have trusted those who only came to taste the oil, not protect the vessel. So instead of letting them betray you later, God let them disappear now. Instead of exposing them in your moment of glory, He allowed their silence to reveal them in your moment of loneliness. Because rejection is revelation, and absence is clarity. And now that you see what's real, God can finally show you what's yours. Get ready, because that quiet season, it wasn't a void, it was a vault. A sacred place where God was pouring into you, where He was rebuilding your identity, where He was sharpening your discernment, where He was preparing your spirit for rooms your name hasn't even been mentioned in yet. You had to be alone so you could unlearn the lies. The lie that you needed them to be whole. The lie that you had to be constantly surrounded to be valuable. The lie that your worth came from your relationships, your likes, your popularity. No, your worth was written long before anyone could vote on your value. God knew you before the womb. And what He's about to do in your life, it will confuse those who walked away thinking you were finished. They'll say, "How did they survive without us? How did they glow up after we left? How did they get stronger in solitude?" And you'll know the truth, because God was with you the whole time. He was walking with you through the quiet nights. He was talking to you when the phone didn't ring. He was holding you together when you were too tired to pray. He was building the kind of strength that only silence can produce. This is divine training. You're being trained in isolation for public elevation, because when He releases you, you won't just rise. You'll lead. You'll heal. You'll carry others with the strength you built in silence. You are not alone. You are being aligned, and everything God allowed to fall apart was so He could rebuild the real you. Not the one who needed to be liked. Not the one who tolerated crumbs for the sake of company. Not the one who kept shrinking to fit into places you'd outgrown. But the you that walks boldly in calling. The you that hears God clearly. The you that doesn't beg, you attract. The you that doesn't chase, you create. This is your becoming. And though it hurts now, it's producing glory. The people who couldn't love you at your quietest don't deserve access to your loudest. The ones who couldn't support you in separation won't qualify for the elevation. And guess what? You won't even be bitter. Because when God heals you in isolation, He also frees you from needing closure. You'll move on with peace. You'll grow with grace. You'll bless even those who broke you. And that, chosen one, is what true elevation looks like. Not just rising in status, but rising in spirit. So don't despise the silence. Don't curse the separation. Don't rush to fill the void with noise or people who look shiny but aren't sent. Wait, because the same God who allowed the separation is the same God preparing the elevation. And when He lifts you, there will be no strings attached, no fake smiles, no hidden agendas, only divine alignment. So stand tall. You're not alone. You're not forgotten. You are being perfectly positioned for your next chapter, and it's coming faster than you think.